The Oval Office was the setting for a diplomatic disaster on February 28, 2025. U.S. President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky engaged in a heated exchange, turning a high-stakes meeting into an international incident. The meeting, intended to reaffirm U.S. support for Ukraine amidst the ongoing war with Russia, quickly devolved into a shouting match. Tensions were high as Trump, alongside Vice President J.D. Vance, accused Zelensky of ungratefulness and disrespect for American contributions to Ukraine's defense. Zelensky, visibly caught off guard by the accusations, defended his nation's position. He emphasized the importance of open dialogue and a strong U.S.-Ukraine partnership. However, his attempts to salvage the situation proved futile. The planned signing of a U.S.-Ukraine mineral resources agreement, intended to bolster Ukraine's economic resilience, was immediately scrapped. The abrupt cancellation served as a stark symbol of the fractured relationship. The spectacle concluded with Zelensky departing the White House, leaving the future of U.S.-Ukraine relations hanging in the balance. The incident sent shockwaves through the international community, raising concerns about the trajectory of the war in Ukraine and the stability of global alliances. Trump's accusations against Zelensky centered around two key points: insufficient gratitude for U.S. support and a lack of respect for his administration. The U.S. has committed billions in military and humanitarian aid to Ukraine since the Russian invasion began. Trump, during the meeting, repeatedly emphasized the extent of this aid, suggesting Zelensky had failed to adequately acknowledge and appreciate the sacrifices made by the American people. Further escalating the tension, Trump issued a stark ultimatum to Zelensky: "Make a deal, or we're out." This statement, interpreted by many as a threat to withdraw U.S. support, sent shockwaves through Ukraine and beyond. It signaled a potential shift in U.S. foreign policy, raising concerns about the future of Ukraine's defense against Russia. Adding fuel to the fire, Trump took to his preferred platform, Truth Social, shortly after the meeting. In a series of posts, he criticized Zelensky's leadership, accusing him of being beholden to globalist interests. Trump's public pronouncements further strained the already fragile relationship, leaving little room for diplomatic reconciliation. The president's actions and statements ignited a firestorm of reactions both domestically and internationally. The incident highlighted the divisions within the U.S. regarding its role in the Russia-Ukraine war and the approach towards international diplomacy. The fallout from the Oval Office confrontation was swift and severe. In the United States, reactions fell largely along partisan lines. Prominent Republicans, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Senator Lindsey Graham, defended Trump's stance. They echoed his sentiments regarding Zelensky's perceived lack of gratitude and emphasized the need for Ukraine to show more deference to its American benefactors. Democrats, in stark contrast, condemned Trump's behavior, expressing deep concern over the potential damage to U.S.-Ukraine relations. Senator Chris Coons labeled the incident a new low for American diplomacy, while House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries accused Trump of siding with Putin over our allies. Internationally, the reaction was one of shock and concern. Allies in Europe, already anxious about the resurgence of Trumpian foreign policy, expressed solidarity with Ukraine. French President Emmanuel Macron called for calm and urged all parties to prioritize diplomatic solutions. Meanwhile, Russia, predictably, seized on the incident as evidence of Western disunity and a validation of its actions in Ukraine. The incident underscored the fragility of the global order and the potential for miscalculation in an already volatile geopolitical landscape. It left many questioning the future of U.S. leadership on the world stage and the implications for international security. The Oval Office confrontation cast a long shadow over Ukraine's future. The incident, coupled with Trump's ultimatum, raised serious doubts about the sustainability of long-term U.S. support for Ukraine's war effort. While existing military aid packages remain in place for now, the prospect of future assistance appears increasingly uncertain. The collapse of the Mineral Resources Agreement further compounded Ukraine's woes. The deal, intended to lessen Ukraine's economic dependence on Russia, would have provided a much-needed boost to its war-torn economy. Its cancellation dealt a significant blow to Ukraine's hopes for a swift post-war recovery. Despite the mounting challenges, Zelensky remained defiant. In a televised address to the Ukrainian people, he vowed to continue fighting for his nation's sovereignty and territorial integrity. He stressed that Ukraine would not be bullied into submission, even in the face of dwindling international support. However, The path forward for Ukraine remains perilous. The country finds itself caught in the crosshairs of a geopolitical power struggle, its fate increasingly tied to the whims of a mercurial American president. The international community now watches with bated breath, uncertain of what the future holds for Ukraine and the broader implications for peace and security in Europe.